And even if you can't go overseas, if you can't directly work with these kids, even if you get on Facebook for 5 minutes and share our posts, it's offered a way for people around the world to be able to participate in missions and to answer the call of Christ. You know, did you clothe the naked? Did you feed the hungry?
I would just like to thank His Grace, Bishop Athanasios, for coming to Washington, D.C. This is his first trip, well, maybe not to Washington. Is this your first trip to Washington?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. This is a historic moment. But of particular historic importance is the fact that you served today and you gave a wonderful talk. And unfortunately, in the altar, I couldn't hear too well, but I kept hearing about people not allowing other people to get into the pool. And I got the message. And I look forward to seeing the video of your talk. You know, we record everything on video. So you'll have to access our web page, stjohndc.org, and you press the YouTube button, and you will be able to see your liturgy that you served today on YouTube, and your people will be able to watch as well, and your sermon. And I look forward to, in the privacy of my own home, quietly listening to what you had to say, and hopefully as a call to action in my own life. Thank you, Vladika, very much for your visit. And I hope you take the bread back with you as well. Because for some reason the bishops always leave the bread, but it's a gift to you. And maybe you can cut it up into small pieces and give it to some of your people in Kenya. But Vladika has agreed to say a few words about his mission in Africa. But before that, I'm going to give the microphone to Father Silowan, who represents an organization called Orthodox Africa. He will, all the money that we collected today, I don't know how much we collected, hopefully a lot. We will just write one check to Orthodox Africa, and Father Silowan will send Vladika the results, and every single penny will go to the good works of this organization. And Vladika, I want to also beg your indulgence and forgiveness, because in about 15 minutes I have to leave, because at 2 o'clock I have a wedding, and I need to set everything up. And all right, so please forgive me for not just barging out. But again, in the privacy of my own home, I will watch the video, which will be hopefully prepared in the next few days of today's event.
Could I?
Исполайте, Господа.
I have some more coffee. Coffee? Just black? Just black, thank you.
Your Eminence, Your Grace, Master bless.
The Lord bless.
Christ is risen. Many of you have met me before. I presented last year and talked to you about the work that we were going to be doing with Orthodox Africa. Last time it had been right before I went to Kenya. And we really started this mission to be able to vet missions that were doing legitimate work. And as a part of my mission trip last year, in addition to doing lots of catechisms and baptisms, I was blessed with the opportunity to visit with His Grace Bishop Athanasios at his diocese and to see many of the good works that he's doing. 2 of the missions that we are currently supporting, free, are in his diocese, and then a couple others are in the Nairobi diocese. We've got pictures of the different things that are going on. Can you do what is Orthodox Africa?
Thank you.
So, just a very quick overview. Orthodox Africa was designed to vet different missions. And it's a late effort that has started just from the ground up and grown exponentially. As a part of that, I'd like to quickly recognize the people that really make the wheels turn, because I'm just a public face. So if I could greet my assistant director, Maria Powell. Please stand up, Maria. And then we've got my secretary, Andrea Hollander, who has been with me from the beginning and really helps make the wheels turn. our treasurer, Olga Dragan. And she's a native of your parish here, so it's really, we've been able to recruit people all over the world. We've got people in Romania, Russia, Ukraine, all working on this mission. Okay, these are the missions that we are currently supporting. And just to give you a view of some of the baptisms and stuff like that, while His Grace talks to you about the missionary work that we've been doing. And really, Orthodox Africa has been designed to stand behind people like missionaries like His Grace and the many priests that he is guiding in Kenya, and to help them, help support their missions and make sure that they are able to continue the good work that they're doing. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce His Grace Bishop Athanasios to talk to us.
Thank you very much. Your Eminence, Metropolitan Jonas, Reverend priests, members of Orthodox Africa being led by Father Silwanos, holy deacons, brothers and sisters, Christos voice cresce. Christ is risen. Christos anesti. First, I bring the greetings and the blessing of His Beatitude, our Pope and Patriarch of the Church in Africa, Theodoros, and all my colleagues in the Synod and in the Church of Kenya. Of course, Bishop Neophytos and Archbishop Macarius, whom we work together. I've been, since my ordination is from 98, but I've been the bishop for less than 2 years. The Diocese of Kisumu is a new diocese which was created by the Holy Synod on the 24th of November 2015, and the enthronement was done on the 15th of May 2016. We have 300 parishes only in the Kisumu diocese, and I have more than 100 priests. We have about 6 high schools and several primary schools, and we have also one clinic that is operating. We opened it just 2 weeks ago, and in this beside the spiritual dispensation that we also have material and social dispensation, of which the Orthodox Africa comes in, not only as a spiritual entity, but also a social and economic entity to our suffering families in Africa as a whole. As Father said, I met Father Silwanos last year when he came to visit in Kenya, and he passed by our office, and we discussed a lot of things in regard to the sustainability of the spiritual and economic church, not only in Kenya but in Africa, but specifically in Kisumu Diocese, which I represent. However, by being here, I represent also the other bishops from Kenya, where Father and Orthodox Africa goes, who are not here, who also have sent their regards and their blessing. One of the issues that we are grappling with, especially in Kenya, besides the spiritual and missionary aspect, of which that is obvious, I'm sure you will send us missionaries and teachers and so on, is the issue of education, whereby the poor families cannot afford to take their kids to schools. And because of that, Father Silwanos has come in with Orthodox of Africa to support our schools, but also to support our students. And of course, we have as well the orphanages, which are spread everywhere. And in Kisumu, we have St. Tabitha Foundation, which is specifically also supported by you through Orthodox Africa. And I don't want to talk much, but that is what we have at the moment. And I would really like to thank you from the bottom of my heart And to say also, I'm sure Jesus Christ, wherever he is very happy because somewhere, somehow, you have saved a soul that was about to get lost, either by your prayers, either by your $1, or either by sending a missionary to come like Father Silwa knows. So you might not know the magnitude of what you have done, but I will have to let you know that what you have done has created a great impact and has made my work as the new bishop of this biggest diocese in Kenya a bit much easier. With those remarks, I wish you all the best, and I welcome you all into the Diocese of Kisumu or into Kenya so that we can fellowship together and pray together and glorify God together, and everything else will follow. Thank you.
As a follow-up to my last presentation, I really want to remind everybody, and as His Grace talked about, the people who were all about themselves and who would not help the paralytic into the pool, we all have a responsibility to be missionaries. Whether it's helping the orphans in Kenya, building the schools, or whether it's helping the crippled guy or the homeless on the side of the street. We all have to get involved in one way or the other. And this is one of the things about Orthodox Africa, has been enabling people to to get involved in missions. So please, remember all of the people that you have seen back here. These are all orphans that we're working on supporting and helping them to nurture them in the faith and build up schools. I will be around to answer any questions, and I'm sure His Grace will also. And I'll pass you on to Father Victor.
I'm still here. I haven't left for the wedding. I was hoping that Walika would speak twice as long as he did in church today, but he was short, very concise. I just want to remind you that if you want to donate, you can write a check to St. John ROC, Russian Orthodox Church, and in the memo, Kenya. But if there are any questions to Walika, for Walika, please ask them. He's here. We have some time. We haven't run over any particular limits of time. So
we also have flyers in Russian
yes.
and English.
Yes, and Father Silan said that they have flyers on the organization Orthodox Africa. So you're welcome to also donate on your own, but it's always nice to donate as a whole. But if you have a question for Walika, I'm sure you all do. For example, you have 300 parishes, Walika, and 100 priests. Obviously, there are 200 parishes which do not have a permanent priest. How do you minister to the parishes where there is not enough clergy? And where do you train your clergy?
Thank you so much, my dear Father. This is one of the challenges that we are facing, but what we have now is each priest is having more than one parish, and when the priest is not there, we have catechists who are able, and catechists are graduates of the seminary who are not ordained, and sometimes lay people who have been basically trained to lead simple services into the parishes. So when the priest is not in the parish, the readers, they lead the obednitsa until the time the priest goes there. Some priests, they show up into their next parish after 1 month, sometimes after 2 months, depending on the issue. But that is the crisis that we cannot be able to address at this particular moment, because the more priests we ordain, we have also to make sure that we are able to support them, because most of our priests are married priests. We are only 2 who are celibates, one archmandrate and myself. Others are married priests, and always is as a father, as a bishop, you have to have the interest of these priests or those to be ordained with their families. They are human beings as well. So with that, we kind of put precautions on when to ordain, and when we ordain, we know that we have an issue, we have a way in which we'll be able to sustain the family of the priest so that he can concentrate on his work. In regard to, there's another question which you asked, the second question, Father. The second part was...
where do you train your priests?
In Kenya, we are blessed because through the first president of Cyprus, Makarios, who is late now, the seminary was established as a patriarchal seminary which trains all the priests from Africa. It's called Makarios III Seminary, where all the priests from Africa are trained from there. Of course, we have few who happens to go outside in Greece, here, and I think we have one in Russia who come back, but possibly and almost all the time we train them from Nairobi, where we have the major seminary of St. Makarios.
How do you say Christ is risen in Swahili?
Kristo amefufuka. Kristo is Christ, amefufuka is he has risen. Kweli amefufuka. Kweli means true. Amefufuka means he is risen. So fufuka means rising. Ame, it means he is. So he is risen, amefufuka. Kweli amefufuka.
Where were you trained as a priest?
Thank you so much. I was trained, of course, I was, from 8 years I was in the church, involved from the Sunday school teacher, youth leader, until past high school, university. Then I went to the college in Nairobi Seminary. After 3 years, I came to Holy Cross. And then after Holy Cross, I went to conclude my postgraduate studies at the State University of South Africa. And then after that, I got myself into this position by the grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you for all the details. Oh, what a humble man. Any questions, please? Nona.
Thank you. Each and every, if you check on our website of Athanasios of Kisumu, I'm in movement every time. And each and every Sunday I go to different regions and different churches and I do liturgy, of which is a normal liturgy. It lasts with Orthodox takes 1 hour, liturgy takes about 45 minutes. So it's about 1 hour and for 45 minutes being sung and officiated into the local dialects, or if not Swahili. However, we have already finished we didn't have a diocese, we didn't have a center, but now we have completed the building of the center and the chapel at the center. So in the chapel, in the church which is next to the diocese, we have liturgy, Vespers and confessions each and every day. The church is open every day, and I have assigned priests each and every day to come to the diocese to be able to lead the liturgies and other services each and every day. But for going out, I go every Sunday different places, and during the week is to visit the projects and schools and other institutions that we have to make sure that they are running well.
Does anybody else? Yes. Please.
Yes. Now, what is the attitude of the non-Orthodox to Orthodoxy in Kenya?
The
attitude of the other religions.
Non-Orthodox.
Okay. Fortunately, I can say that the relationship of the Orthodox and other churches and other religions, and of course with the government, is perfect. Each person keeps his space and keeps doing his business. So we can say, I can say that the relationship is okay. We are not interfered. Even the Islam, we don't interfere. They do their work. There are very few. It's a small percentage. They do their work. We do our own. We preach about ourselves, and if people come, they come, and they preach about themselves. If people go there, they go there. So we actually, in brief, we are in good relationship with them. Yes.
I'm sorry, a question.
Yes.
Do you welcome missionary outreach, and do missionaries come to work in Kenya and within your diocese, and in what capacities?
Yes, we do welcome. Of course, I will exit by the church as a whole in Kenya, which has been built on the sweat and the effort of the missionaries who have come there as teachers, as priests, and of course Archbishop Makarios is a missionary from Cyprus. And in my diocese, which is quite new because it was under the Archbishopric Holy Metropolis of Kenya before it was divided, yes, we have missionaries who are coming to visit at the moment. Because we just started, we have invited, but we have, like Father Silvanos came. We have had also missionaries from Greece. We have had also missionaries from here. By the time I left, we had a conference which we have every year of women conference and workshop with about 700 women, of which we had also 2 women from the church in America who I left when they were teaching and also helping the Orthodox women in Africa. And also we have also some youth from Finland, and also some came here when we had a youth conference last year of about 2,000 young people who gathered, and we had also missionaries and teachers, not only from Kenya, but from everywhere that we could be able to afford to get. Yes, princess, this is for you.
We also have.
What's your favorite saint?
Who's your favorite saint?
Of course, my princess, my favorite saint is my name, Athanasios. I'm very selfish, you see. I think of Athanasios as my favorite saint, of course, and many other saints are my favorite, but Athanasios is mine because I took his name, so I have to be very much biased on that. Thank you.
Who's your second favorite?
My second favorite. Now that becomes hard.
Put in another one. What is another favorite?
I think I can say all other saints, they fall in the same category. I respect and I love all other saints. So thank you.
Okay, over here.
We also have cards if they want to contact us.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Are there challenges dealing with traditional African religions or cults?
Yes.
How do people convert to Orthodoxy? What's the situation in that regard?
Thank you. Yes, of course, Africa, right from those BC, before Christ centuries, was a continent with different tribes and different religions and different rituals. And these are the rituals that Orthodoxy incarnated itself in when it came into Africa. One of the things is that in most places, Orthodoxy has fused itself into these cultures, and they have intermarried, and things are okay at the moment. We have those who have been, the cultures that have been left and the cultures that have been retained. Just as the Greeks and the Slavonic, they retained some cultures, and the other cultures that were not in correspondence with the message of Christ were a bit set aside. Having said that, now let me come to a question which said, how do we react on that? We, at the moment, we do not have many African religions and cults. what we have at the moment is much of African indigenous churches. They believe in Christ, but they were formed specifically to be Africans, to be by themselves. These are the churches that we have, and I can also confidently say that we are interacting with them, and we have many people. Most people that we get from into the Orthodox Church are not people actually from other churches, are people from these African religions, and even those who do not have any faith. So, and we do not receive any backlash in any form. They receive us, and we receive them. And one of the unique aspect into this is that most of the African practices, rituals, and the attitude towards the higher power, who is God, is mostly connected on how we Orthodox do our things. Because in an African perspective, there is the involvement of the whole person, the mind, the body, and the soul, which we have in the church, the icons, the incense, and of course the services. So an African person was, in his own religion, not only theoretical, but the whole body, the senses and the mind and the sense of smell, all of them were involved, because they had to sacrifice, they had to listen to the messages, and they had also images that they were using. So what we have done, we have only changed the way they used to do, but the way we are doing as Orthodox is more close to the way the indigenous African before the coming of Christianity used to view religion and used to worship.
Another question, Vladika. You've experienced, I assume, the Greek liturgy and now the Russian liturgy as well. How does the African liturgy differ? You know, especially since Orthodoxy has, as you said yourself a few minutes ago, it takes on the cultural elements that it can appropriate into Christianity. So how does the liturgy differ within your diocese, for instance?
Thank you. In the diocese where by the grace of God I'm serving, I don't want to say my diocese, we have I'm serving 5 different tribes with 5 different cultures, 5 different languages, some of which I'm learning by myself. I'm learning also to be able to serve in those languages. One of the way we do that is because our patriarch has actually given chance and given permission that we have to serve liturgy into the local language of the people. So that is the first step. The second, you will come to Africa and you'll find that, and the father might be, if you attended liturgy, that after liturgy you'll have the dance, Christian dance and so on, which is part of the African culture. They cannot celebrate without having the drum and all these traditional instruments and to dance. And so that also has been included. However, missiologically, and according to missions, the Orthodox Church was a faith was introduced in Kenya from Greece, and now we have like Russian tradition, and of course the Church of in the United States is getting involved. If you go to the liturgy, you'll find that it's a sandwich of each, a sandwich of Byzantine, a sandwich of Slavonic, and a sandwich of a bit of African flavor into it, especially into the tones of singing. So it will vary wherever you go. You'll find the liturgy is the same, the order is the same, but the singing, you feel part of it. You feel a little bit of African into it, the tone, and then you feel a bit of the Byzantine right in it, because we are under the Patriarchate of Alexandria, which actually is a Greek Patriarchate, and therefore you find, and our students are trained into the Byzantine seminary. So when they come from there, they also carry along with them some of these. So I can actually say that it's a mixture. And my father is here. He can be able to attest to it because he has attended some liturgies, and he will attend now. He's coming. He will attend more of them, and I'm sure he will be able to give a proper witness to this. Thank you.
Just as a side note, in case you guys didn't have cash or checks or something and would like to make a donation to the work that we are doing in Orthodox Africa, my assistant director here has a credit card swiper that you can donate directly to through PayPal to the good work that we are doing in Kenya. And my assistant director, Maria, would like to address you all real fast.
In the event that you get a business card, I made an error and Father Sutherland's phone number is incorrect.
So what is it?
If you have a PIN on the business card, if I give it to you, my phone number ends with a 2 instead of a 4. So for the last digit.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, yes. So I was going to ask, you might branch off a little bit from your discussion about the interaction with other religions, but how does the Orthodox Church deal with ethnic divides in Kenya? From what I understand, you're doing liturgies in different languages. So I'm wondering, how did those groups interact historically? Have they been divided in the past? Did they get along well? Stuff like that.
Thank you. Africa as a whole, because the most unique thing in the African continent as a whole is that somebody migrated from somewhere to somewhere else, and therefore they are related to each other. And that's why we have the groups in Africa, and especially in Kenya, we have 42 tribes, but we do have, they have been divided into 3 groups. One is Bantu. So all these groups in Bantu, though they have different dialects, all their vowels, they end with "ndu." So they all have a little bit of agreement with each other. Then we have Kushites. Then we have Nilotes. And this group also, they understand each other according to those groups. The Bantu, it's very hard a bit to understand the Nilotes and the Kushites. But the Nilotes and the Kushites, who live along the lake of Lake Victoria, where my diocese is and where Uganda is, and northern part of Uganda and southern part of Sudan, they speak what we call Luo. Luo is almost is like the Acholi, which is spoken in South Sudan, and they have also their own. So there is this kind of connection. Having said that, let me now come to your specific question. In Kenya, as a country, we have one local national language that binds together all the tribes. It doesn't matter where you come from, and this is Swahili. And in most of my services, if you check on the video, you'll find that I do them in Swahili, because wherever I go, you'll find that people from another tribe will come. And therefore, I wouldn't use the language of that tribe in order not to offend or not to feel these other people left out. So I will use Swahili, whereby everyone who will come will be able to be comfortable. In conclusion, Swahili is a language that binds this and unites them, and also Swahili is a symbol of unity of Kenya as a country, despite of having many tribes and many subsections in itself. Thank you.
Do you have enough books, prayer books, or books for children, for Sunday school? How do you deal with that?
Actually, we do not have. I forgot to beg. I knew Father was going to beg for me. But yes, we need. They have tried to get teachers. We have tried to draft a little bit of the Sunday school syllabus, but we do not have enough material, especially for the young children and for the youth and for the teenagers especially. So that is something that I might also be in humility also try to appeal. If you can send to us either electronically and so on, we can be able to translate and be able to use them. Thank you.
His Grace will not tell you this, but one of the biggest things that we need to do is help establish self-sustainability in Kenya and doing building projects that will help fund their missions as they go on. His Grace, as I was told, has finally got a car, but he used to walk many, many miles just to be able to go serve liturgy and everywhere. It didn't have anything at all when he was first consecrated as a bishop. Just the panagia that he's got was a huge treasure, because he just literally had nothing as he was going off everywhere throughout his diocese serving his people. So we've got many projects that we've been working on trying to develop. The first one that His Grace would like to do is to be able to raise about $10,000 to buy some buses, because there's no public transportation. So he feels that if he can get a couple of buses and it would employ some of the orphans that we have that are needing productive employment. And he feels that if he can get those buses, that he'll be able to raise enough money to pay his priests and to continue to care for the orphans and the widows within his diocese. And we've got a question right here, ma'am.
I just had a question, Grace, about, you mentioned the orphans, and I'm wondering, I imagine many of these orphans are affected by AIDS, and maybe you can comment on the effect of AIDS in your community.
Thank you so much. In the last couple of years, HIV has been the major killer of our people, and especially productive age, between 30 to 50, that's the productive age when people are sitting, and most of the people, we lost parents in that situation. And that's how the issue of the orphans actually came in. Yes, we have some orphans that have the viruses in them, but now with the government initiative, we are able to sustain them to live a normal life. It's not like before where they used to die. And I remember one of my teachers also and his wife, they passed away because of this. So it is something that is really affecting. My diocese is part of it, especially the Western. We bury every time we do burial because of that. But also, one of the things is that people used to hide it, and that's why it used to spread. And now the churches, even the churches are coming up and in love, discussing about it and talking about it, and trying not to make it as if it's a sin, so that people can come up and be able to talk about it. Because when people can be able to disclose, it prevents. But when people are scared to disclose, and they move one place to another, and that is what led to this, it creates more and more and more infections. So yes, we have, but it's not like the way it was before 2 years ago.
Just to add to that, I had the pleasure of working with some groups when I was in Kenya last year that were AIDS patients or people that were infected, and it was a great pleasure to be able to watch them and see how they drew closer to God and the joy that they had in Christ, even though that they were dying. And one of my goddaughters, Sophia, I don't know, there's a picture of her. Her parents died of HIV or AIDS, and she's being raised by her 16-year-old aunt, who is also HIV positive, right down there on the Tanzania border with her. Her aunt is also raising her 4-year-old sister. So there's been a lot of work being done to help bring the people that are infected with AIDS and stuff, along with education, and to help them understand the healing that the church offers in Christ. And that despite the heavy cross that they have, oftentimes they were born with HIV or AIDS. It wasn't anything that they had to do personally. So there's a lot of healing despite the heavy cross that everybody has there and the extreme poverty in which they're able to really come closer to Christ. So it's a real pleasure to be able to stand next to His grace and experience this healing and watch as the church grows with the missionaries. And with that, I'll give you to His Eminence, Metropolitan Jonathan.
If we don't have any more questions, one more.
I just have one question. I don't know, maybe you already mentioned, I didn't hear it. How about Catholics and Protestants? What relations do you have with them? Are they there? Yes. Pretty strong or not?
Thank you so much. Kenya was under the British colony from I think 1920s until 1963, December 12th, and that will explain that Anglican is very strong, the Church of England, which you call here Episcopal Church, and then we have also Catholic, which is very strong. So Catholic and Anglican, they are major denominations there, and though we are not in communion with them, but we are in good relationship. But we are not like in communion with them, but we are in good neighborly and brotherly relationship. When it comes to national issues, like when we had terrorism attack and others, we sit down and discuss about the national issues, and that also has kept our relationship pretty strong with them.
Thank you.
Oh, and one more. Just one question. I first heard about the missionary activity of the Church of Kenya through Father Alexei Uminsky, the Orthodox Encyclopedia documentary about your church. And I was stunned by the sheer numbers that since Jomo Kenyatta and the President of Cyprus began this project. Could you just tell the people who maybe do not have a lot of familiarity with Kenya, how many Orthodox people are in your country?
We have about, with the 5-year old statistics, we don't know now, it's about 1 million Orthodox Christians with about 700 priests throughout the country.
Okay, so if we can stand and sing the Thanksgiving prayers. Blessed is God who has been kind to us and nourished us with his bounteous gifts through his grace and love for mankind, always, now, and ever, and unto ages of ages.
Amen. Prosperous and peaceful life, health, salvation, good success in all things. Grant, O Lord, to thy servant, the most Reverend Athanasios, Bishop of Kisumu of Western Kenya, with his God-preserved flock, and preserve them for many years.
God grant you many years, God grant you many years, God grant you many, many years. No gaya yetam, no gaya yetam, no gaya yetam. Save him, O Christ God, save him, O Christ God, save him, O Christ God.
Amen. Lord have mercy. 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 To thee, O Lord. Amen. Lord have mercy. 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 To thee, O Lord. Amen. Lord have mercy. 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 To thee, O Lord. Amen. Lord have mercy. 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 To thee, O Lord. Amen. Lord have mercy. Lord have